Hi, I'm Angified. I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy. Nothing else worked.
Hi.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage.
Statistics, feelings.
And ourselves.
We stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We will find peace
in
all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find in this shining world. He was among us in every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black. Love will melt the ice and turn it back, and you will find the world. You will find the world. You will find the world. And when you find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a whole new world, a better place for our children's futures at stake. And you'll find, with music in your soul, laughter in your hearts, together we can grow a better place, with love in our soul. And you will find, together we can save it all. And you will find a place called home, where
We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear, and 82. How to rain, compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac and even with a mobile device, we'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and synths that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talking IT. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much RAM. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. We're talking IT. We're talking IT. Every Thursday night on Angified.
Oh, I got it on the talking, except no T. There we go.
There we go.
Glenn.
What's up?
What up?
How you doing?
Good. As you can see, I got a new setup.
Yes.
Since the last time I rearranged everything.
I like it. It's a good look.
Yeah. I have it actually spread all the way around the room. I have keyboards in every corner now.
Nice. And the electric works for everything. You don't blow circuits all the time? It's amazing.
I've run out of plugs. I have no more outlets.
You also have no more free USB ports anywhere.
Except on a few of the little machines, there's a few USB 2 ports left. but I do have an Amazon order coming with 2 USB hubs. So once that comes in, I'll be back to normal.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, a couple of new headsets, upgrading a few things.
Mm-hmm. Always good to see.
But with all this new setup, I figured that's a perfect time. Tonight's a jam night. We're going to be playing a little bit, trying a little songwriting. You know, people constantly ask us, like, can you jam on Zoom? And it's kind of there's no perfect answer for it. You can jam in little spurts, but songwriting is much easier than trying to actually jam. I wouldn't record my song on Zoom, but I could write my song on Zoom. I've written a couple with you guys.
Yep. Another thought is that I've had a few times is, even if you can't play simultaneously and have it come back the way you want it to, because one person will be hearing it probably fine because they're hearing what they're playing live at the same time as what's coming in. But then the other person is going to hear that delay. So, even if it's a small delay, it's still pretty annoying when there's that little delay.
Yeah.
But one thing that you can do with the songwriting idea is you're going back and forth with something like that. You come up with something and then you can go record it into a BandLab project or whatever, share it, and then the other person can do their part from there. And you can go layer by layer and, everybody adding into the same project, but nobody trying to do it like we were saying, like live collaborating and putting it into the project there. You're better off each person putting it into the project individually. So
yeah, and that's something I'd like to try in the future. BandLab does have that integrated chat in the projects. Mm-hmm. So could effectively all go into the BandLab project and be able to hear each other, talk over on Zoom about like your parts, your arrangement, get everything squared away, then go over to the BandLab project, do your part, come back, say, hey, I'm done. The next person could take care of their part. That's something in the future we're going to explore more.
Yeah. And again, even just for ideas where, sometimes it's just a matter of you just want to lay down a couple of chords, put it into a loop so that you can sit there and, make it into a 5-minute loop so you can just jam over it and see what ideas kind of come out, pick and choose from those ideas to kind of build structure for a song, whether it's, building a verse, building a chorus, seeing what sounds right, even if it's just, having it go around in a loop. A lot of the stuff that we have recorded from jam sessions is just, somebody came up with a cool sounding chord progression that happened to sound cool because of the way they were playing it that day. So we have a recording of it. So like when we're listening back, we're like, oh, I like that. And now we can, we got a nugget of it. So now we can use that to expand on.
And that's where like having a looper can come in handy. Me and Mavi were talking about that the other night, and like how you can kind of accomplish certain things without having like a full band, or, you're trying to figure out a part, and being able to just set up a loop and let her rip, work at it until you've got it exactly the way you want, then go and actually layer things and go through the process of setting up the song.
Yeah, because a lot of times you don't even have the idea fully finalized yet. So it's something that, progresses over time where, you hear something that somebody does and it's like, oh, I like the way that sounded with this, but then that makes this other thing not work. So you have to, adjust the song and go from there. But layer by layer, step by step, you can move towards, what you're looking for with the song.
Yeah. And for me, a lot of times when I first start on a song, I like to get that feedback from the others that I might be working with on when to change, or how long should I hold on this chord. I have my ideas in a progression, but once I hear what the people I'm going to bounce off of are doing, I'll adjust the best thing about rhythm and doing the chords is you can change your attack, you can change your approach to fit like the other musicians, and it actually is more fun for me that way than trying to get them to play the way I'm playing. I like to be able to bounce off of other people's styles there.
Definitely.
Especially the vocalist. The vocalist, I think, is the most important one to get that feedback from, so that you can make a song that molds around the voice.
It also depends where you are in the song creation, because if all you have is words, for example, it can be tough to try to get a song structure to fit around words. But if you just have something that you're going around with, you've played the chord progression a few times, a couple of ideas for solos over the top of it, just to get, a feel for how it would kind of come together. And then, the soloist or the vocalist can start coming up with, okay, this is going to be more verse, and this is going to be more of the, of a chorus or a bridge or whatever, because different types of song sections will sound distinctly different, but, they can all function, if anything that you record could be part of any song. This might be a verse in this song, but it might sound more like a chorus in that song, for example.
Yeah, and the nice thing about when you are bouncing off of each other and you do have like a singer there, they'll start coming up with words, but anybody can help when it comes to the words. Like the whole band can help massage the lyrics to be the melody that you want, adjust the words so they fit better into the music. And I think that makes for a better song in the end.
Yeah, I think so too. At the same time, you can get the too many cooks in the kitchen thing, where, a song started out one way and then somebody else had input, and it turns into a Franken song where it has elements of everything, but it no longer sounds anything like what it was aiming for in the beginning. So it's important to kind of keep, if you do have like an objective in mind, it's important to keep that in mind as you're going through the song process.
And it's always a good idea to, like, who is the head chef? So if it comes to words and lyrics and melody, even if the whole band is kind of contributing ideas there, I still like to see the singer be the final say, because they're the ones who have to say the words. They're the ones who have to perform them. So I always look to them for the final judgment on, okay, we're going to say it this way and we're going to play it this way.
Exactly. Now, one of those, we were just talking a minute ago about some of the songs that we have recorded from, rehearsal sessions. One of the ones we were going back over the other day, as we're listening back to it, one of the guys starts having ideas for vocals, like how the vocal line will go, the vocal melody, but he doesn't know what the words are going to be yet. So he just starts kind of humming it and just kind of making up, not real words, but just kind of sounds to try to get the feel for how the song would sound. And so I just said, hey, here's the microphone, here's the record button, boom, and let's record that down, even as a ghost track. And that way he can play that back to the person who's trying to write lyrics for the song, and they can get an idea of where he's going, with that vocal idea, so that they can kind of take that melody and run with it at that point.
Yeah. Depending on the type of song, I'll either tell the singer to hum, because, with certain songs, it's all about coming up with that melody, or scat. Yeah, if it's a little more bouncy of a song, some of the rock songs and some of the pop songs, scat really helps a lot to just kind of figure out where the syllables are going to go.
Exactly. And that's the important thing, is to get the feel, and the emphasis and just the emotion that's coming through on the song. It helps it all come together.
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing a little bit tonight, I'd like to play around with a couple of different progressions and see if we can come up with some progressions that can form into a song. And if any of you out there have some ideas on chord progressions, you want to throw them in there, I'm willing to try any key, any chord. I'm not saying I can play any scale good, but I'm totally open to trying some different scales. In the last couple of weeks, since I got everything set back up, I've been really trying to learn scales that I don't normally use, like the C sharp minors and, all the sharp scales and flat scales. Like these are not my go-tos, but I'm willing to learn.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is once you kind of get a good feel for, 12 keys, then you've got a good toolkit to work from, because then everything else starts to feel easier, because a song comes up and it feels unfamiliar, but then when you find what feels right, you realize you already know that scale and you're like, yes, I got it.
Damn it, Ange, don't start with B7 major. I figured she'd be a troublemaker when I say call out chords. See, Glenn's going to play the B7 major. Oh, and Maha's asking about the WAG. The WAG is coming back 2 weeks from now. February 1st is going to be the first episode. They've already got more than 32 submissions. So any of you out there, if you haven't signed up, go check out, the WAG over on BandLab and sign up now, because by the 25th, Rusty's going to be going through all the signups, and there's only 32 slots. So what he's looking for is, versatility. It doesn't matter whether you're a guitarist, a singer, all of those are good, because what we're trying to do is get a healthy balance of everybody. So if you have a skill that's actually not as much in there right now, you have a better chance of actually getting into the 32, because we'd like to see a well-rounded 32. So we've got some vocalists, we've got some guitarists, we've got some drummers and percussionists, beat makers. If you fill any of those skills, go check out the WAG, and you'll have a lot of fun with this competition. You'll be challenged with different genres. You get to collab with people that you've never collabed with before. It's a good way to really expand your palette.
Yeah, always good. I always love collabing with new people.
Yeah. I tried it out last summer when they did it, and I had a lot of fun. I managed to get through 3 rounds, and I got to try jazz, I got to try blues. What was the other one? There was one that I was like, this is easy.
I was going to say country or funk, but no.
Yeah. Well, the first one was actually the jazz one, and I was like, wow, I've listened to jazz, but I've never really written it.
Indeed.
I was lucky to get a 13-year-old who actually did know how to play jazz.
Indeed. And that's always good to get.
Yeah.
Get him started out right.
And yes, Maha, I will be judging with DJ Tatius, and there's a guest mystery judge that Rusty's kind of feeling out a couple of different judges. So the third judge might change each episode. There'll be an episode on the 1st, there'll be an episode on the 15th, and then on March 1st, and then March 15th. And March 15th will be the finale.
Nice.
And Maha, you can definitely fit well into the WAG. You have a nice variety of genres. It should be right up your alley. Maybai is also going to be very likely in it. I think Rusty kind of let it slip last night that he was definitely going to be picking Maybai for one of the 32 slots. So I think you pretty much sealed your way in there.
That's the way it works.
And I can't wait to see like what genres get thrown at him, because I do believe he can play anything.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think? E minor add 9? You could do that.
Yeah, that's the one he was trying to throw at me before. I'm going to switch headphones. I'm going to go over there so I can get a little piano in. And if we're going to start with E minor add 9, I just started getting comfortable with it right before the show started.
Wow. Nice. Percussive organ. Could do strings or piano or any of that.
Okay.
We also have to balance out the volumes and see if.
Am I coming through over here? Okay.
I can hear you over there.
Okay. And here's the keys. Now, after E minor add 9, where do I go?
C.
C? Ah! Oh, and I could actually keep using that 9. Mm-hmm. Okay. There I feel a part change. So where would we go? Like G?
That sounds good.
That could work.
That sounds good.
Down to the D. Back to the C. I'm going to go to the G. Okay, I do like that change to G. I feel like after that, I want another part. Can we get another part in there, like a chorus?
What about instead of the C, was it C to the G to the D? Which one? We're doing those three. We're doing the G to the D to the C. Just do the G to the D back and forth a couple times, and then go to the C.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because like the back and forth kind of gives you that little kind of holding pattern, and then you drop it to the C when you're ready, and then you go back to wherever, either another part or back to the first part.
Okay. So what I was doing there, yeah, what I was doing there was doing the E to C, did that twice, and then did the G to D that Glenn said 3 times, and then after the 3rd time resolving to the C before going back to the other pattern.
What was it, D major?
Yeah, the second part I was doing what Glenn suggested. G, D, just back and forth. And then after 3 times of doing that, resolving to the C. To get ready to go back to the E.
after the E for the chorus.
B?
And then somewhere else. Well, B minor.
Is that the B minor?
I think so. It's
The B, the D, and the F sharp.
Yeah, F sharp.
Yeah, B. I'm hitting B, D sharp, F sharp. Is that the right?
Oh
B,
no. D and F sharp.
Oh no, yeah, it should be D, not D sharp, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
The reason why I chose the B is because it's actually D major.
Yeah. You tricky son of a bitch.
And then take your C major and then go to A minor.
He loves C major and A minor for sure.
So you can go E, B minor, A minor.
Yeah, that actually is a good way to shift if you wanted to shift to A minor as a scale. Now, if you really want to throw in a transition here, go back up to the D. After a couple of rounds, of going to A, you know, because I like the A. It really does feel like it could change with the A or repeat.
Let's run it from the beginning so we don't forget the progression.
This time I'm going to go up to the D. So, starting with the progression we were doing with the ninth. Try that. I fucked up there. I went to the C instead.
Weren't you going to go to the G or the D C G thing?
The G D thing. Well, you could do either one. What do you think works better?
I mean, I like the minor sounding, but I mean, if you went and put the major in between them.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. After the G D, go into the E B C A progression.
Yeah.
So. keep fucking up on that fourth one. Something in my brain makes me want to go to C the fourth time.
Whatever feels right, you know?
You know, when you were jamming on that, that was it the C on the last note or the last chord of the second progression, I feel like it needs a run, a chord run.
You mean after the bounce between the G and the D?
Yeah, and then you land on the C and then like do like a couple chords in a run on the timing of that is the length it's supposed to be.
I might not be the one who plays the run, but Glenn could be doing that on bass. Now I'm hearing you doing the run. Yes, the guitar should do that run. Says the fancy guitarist.
If I tried doing a picking pattern, it would probably like clash with the timing.
What kind of because I can do these chords a couple of different ways. Like right now I'm just doing like the standard, like, you know, but I can also do like
Go to the chorus part, the E, B minor, and A minor thing.
E, B.
Where is that? A?
E, B, C, A.
Oh, E, B, C, A. Okay.
I could strike them. It's a good thing you guys can't see my stinky face. But that's how you know when I fuck up. That would be a way to you could up the tempo there. That would be an opportunity to actually change the tempo of the song. If we were starting with the slower melodic, like with the nines, and then to the C's.
It needs to get some
and then kicks into that
energy
kind
on
of
the chorus.
I like the little muting you were doing there, because then I would play higher. I don't know if I could bounce with you that fast, but
Everything is at 9 there, by the way. That's what I'm doing.
I know you keep making me use ninths.
Yeah, everything. That's cool. I wanted to go in like a four chord progression, didn't that? The E and the C there. Going back to the beginning, it felt like it just wanted to go into 4 chords.
Okay, I think I could get your bounce. I could do it at least twice. Well, this is a very melodic
let's
scale
go to the
that you
beginning.
picked with.
Let's go back to the beginning and see where like the rhythm takes us into that chorus. How we all go into it. Now that we got a few ideas of what's going on here.
Now this is where having vocals, because at that part I would want to hear a singer come in and play that a couple more times with some words before the shift. Depending on the words that are being said, a couple more times of sing it, Glenn. There's our G. Oh, and then go back to the E. Then to the C. Now pick it up. Start with the guitar. Go back to that E, B, C, A.
That's off the wrong. Hold on. Play that part one more time, and I'll come in after that. I just gotta get. I gotta feel the rhythm again.
And while it's holding on the C, start getting that. There you go. If you get that going on the guitar, I can actually go back to the main theme of that.
Playing the progression, the chords.
Yeah, I can bring that melody back in off of the B.
I lost it. It should be on the bass. No, you're gonna have to switch the chords on that.
Yeah. If I start with the
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When you come back, it wants to go into a 4-chord progression. So I'm thinking the previous might just be an intro, really not the verse. The first part. An intro to the song, still, you can sing on it and stuff, but going back into it from that rhythm is like a little. I mean, you can go back into it, though.
This slow part feels like an intro.
Yeah.
Like that would be an intro, come in with some words. This, when it kicks in with the. Oh, you might actually get me soloing one day. I'm hearing a little solo that I would like if we played that enough times and I got like my chords in there. I would eventually
I
get
can put
into
that on loop, and you can jam along with it if you want.
Oh, this will take me nights of practice to.
I would start with G major pentatonic or E minor pentatonic, so just those 5 notes.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? Did it not record for us? The hell's going on? Why is it not playing on mic? I don't get it.
You hear the melody I'm thinking, Glenn? Like I'm missing a note.
Don't be afraid to skip around too. I hear the notes in my head, my fingers don't play them fast enough. Try using 2 hands, with one hand focusing on 3 of the notes and the other hand focusing on 2 of the notes for a pentatonic scale.
I think you're right, Glenn. If I focus on those 5 notes to stabilize like what you can't fuck up on those 5 notes. Like
that's part of it. That's also with those 5, like you're leaving out the other 2. You know, with those 5, you can do everything that you normally would do with a vocal melody because a lot of it is just pentatonic.
Well, yeah, the only 2 that are really missing are the C and D. Oh, and I found a way to get the C and the D in there.
That. Okay. You going back to the beginning?
I'm soloing at this point.
Oh.
You guys can do anything you want. I'm actually in solo mode.
Yeah.
Happens with we try to put rhythm behind it, like if we did. Like not necessarily that one, but just a rhythm of some kind. And is that too loud or is that okay?
You can bring the drums back just a smidge if you can adjust them separately. Because the bass is in good volume.
That's one where if there is a drum thing going back and forth, I think it might be more noticeable when the time does kind of shift or start sliding.
Yeah, after a couple of minutes, it'll float a little bit, but it
That's
actually
also where it helps.
it actually
just
starts
long
off
hold chords instead of like short stabby, because the stabby ones definitely make it stand out more that there's a slide in timing. So
Yeah.
more of like more like that with the rest, even if the speed is going behind it.
I think I can do this. I think that drum beat works. What's the tempo at?
That one's at 120.
120? No wonder.
I can go up or down though.
Bring it to 115 for a second. sustain pedal is sliding backwards. Okay, this is a little different for me. I feel like I'm in Bon Jovi all of a sudden. If I can get comfortable.
Wait, that was cool right there. That's like a fucking what the hell
yeah, I'm getting used to this inversion. I'm trying to play it in a way so that I don't have to jump around as much. So I'm starting with the normal E. Getting used to this B is.
I would start with the inverted E because the B, the C, and the D are all. Or sorry, the B, the C, and the A are all in one place.
You're right. If I start with the inverted
I like
E,
inverted E better
this
anyway.
is a piece of cake this way. Okay, Glenn, thank you. That root E was fucking me up because trying to go to the B from the root E, my fingers weren't feeling it. If I start with the inverted E like this, it's very easy. It's B is the lowest, E, and then G. G is the highest.
Yeah, that way it's in the same place as the B and it's right next to the C and the A.
Because it slides right down to the B. Chord rise, if you look at it, I barely have to move.
Well, I still gotta hit the E so that way it makes sense.
Yeah, but it's not easy for you on guitar.
No, I know. I'm saying 'cause I want to do the inversion too, but I have to hit the E.
The inversion on the guitar, I would imagine, would be a little different as far as the easiest way on the guitar.
Same idea though. With the those three chords being right next to each other, you're gonna. I would also invert that or play a different version of that low E chord so that it would be in a similar position to the others. But there's also on the guitar, it's easy to go from a chord, rooted on the 6th string to rooted on the 5th string is going from like a 1 to a 4 or going from a 2 to a 5 in a chord. You're just basically dropping down a string and using a different claw. So it's a little different.
Yeah, and hearing it with the drum beat, the drum beat is helping me to. The drum beat's kind of giving me
I can play a G on the E, on the root.
That's the 3rd, yeah.
I don't know if I can do that. It might sound weird.
Basically, that's where you get into slash chords, where like that, if you're playing an E chord but a G is in the bass, you're doing an E/G, like that kind of thing.
Oh, is that how it works? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses invented it.
So that's our tablature for fucking or notation for an inverted chord then.
Just like G over B.
Gotcha.
You see that one a lot.
Makes sense now.
And usually with the slash chords, a lot of times it's either going to be a passing note, like they're just trying to get somewhere, like walk a bass line down is what you'll see that for a lot.
Yeah.
And the other would be if you're just inverting, like he was saying, invert that E chord, that would show it as an E/, in his case, if the G is the lowest one, E/G, or E/B, if you're that way. Just to make it easier to read the notation or the chords for a song. Now, the other thing with this thing is in Casio chord mode, so if I start that beat again, but I actually feed it the chords that we're doing, it'll play its own, version of what it would be. But that wouldn't be, it would be in the style of whatever the beat is. So it would be like.
Oh, so it's like already arpeggiated. Well, rhythmized.
One problem is it only reads in the bottom octave, though, so I'd have to figure out what we're doing here.
Oh, does it?
Like for E minor, I would have to E and then any other note, and it'll figure that out as an E minor because it's not fully.
Oh, you know what? I had a keyboard back in the day that did something similar to that.
Yeah.
Where I had to like play the root and then I can augment the chord.
Yeah,
So
and
if you're doing E minor,
if you actually do the third, you kind of tell that which chord it's actually playing. You can control the major minor chords by playing the third with your left hand.
there's actually two ways to do it. Like with this one, I could also go fully fingered, where like I would hit every note in the chord, so I can hit sevenths and ninths and all that kind of stuff, and it'll actually put all that into whatever it's doing. But in the mode that it's in right now, it would be like if I just do E minor, for example, it would be E plus another note.
Sounds like my cat.
He's got that funky thing going on.
Gives it a totally different bounce.
Because that's 8-beat rhythm 1, whatever. So it's very random, but in the Casio built-in rhythms, that's the way it does it. I like that funk sound you got there, though.
Yeah, that works good on that.
I like play bass and guitar at the same time on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to an electric piano to go with that funky sound.
I was trying cello and it came out way electronic.
I hear like a
I think I like this one better.
Oh, that takes you off of our frequency. That's nice.
Well,
We're all matched up on the same one for a minute there. There you go. You're up there on the headphones.
Pink Floyd hour.
I can't do chords in this freaking effect.
It's the closest to souling I can come.
That's how you do it right there. Just chop it. Little tiny licks, making one big melody.
All phrases, yep.
Yeah, phrasing.
One thing that's a good exercise is think about the root, the third, and the fifth as target notes. So when you're going to do little phrases, try to start and end them on the third, the fifth, or the root. A lot of times it sounds like they're
That's
always
what
finishing
I'm
on the
doing.
root, but third, fifth is always good.
Wait, what chord progression was that just now? That was kind of cool.
I'm still playing in the same chords.
No, we didn't. We were out of sync, but it sounded good. I don't know. It was. I don't know. I think I had a chord.
I don't know. Once I start playing a psychedelic song sound, it feels like I can go anywhere.
Where's my organ right here? This doesn't sound right there. You guys want to do a different progression?
Yes, but I do need to take a break for a second, so if you want to load up a song and
I need a break. Is that like this? Is that the slap bass?
Yeah.
I can hear those snaps. I shall return in a few minutes.
Just like that epic song.
It's not a bad slap bass sound, actually.
Going back to C.
They said you were doing some things with bunches of sharps. Did you do any flats, or you're sticking to the sharp side of the scales?
The last one I was trying to stay with all sharps. What is it? C sharp minor.
So that's related to E major. Basically, you can always look up three half steps from where you're thinking about for minor, and you'll get to the major related key. Yeah, you're doing that C sharp, D sharp, and then right to the E, and then F sharp, G sharp, and then the A and the B.
Yep.
Nope, not all the black notes though. Just the first two.
Yeah, then it goes to the E.
Four sharps instead of five sharps. So yeah.
What would be the one that's all sharps? F sharp?
The next one over would be related to B. Related to B, so it would be G sharp minor. Now I'm confusing myself.
Me too.
It would be if you go with, for all the black notes, well, that's the thing, is you got either five sharps or six sharps or seven sharps or five flats or six flats or seven flats.
No matter what,
same thing.
No matter what, there's always going to be a white note somewheres in there, right? There is.
Well, right. The question is whether the white notes are going to be like B and E, or whether it's B and F flat, or whether it's B sharp, which is C, or whether it's F flat, which is E. Like, that's where it gets weird. But basically, G flat is the last of the keys, or the F sharp major. Those two are the last of the keys that are with the five. So you just do the. So it'd be like the three in a row black notes. And B, C sharp, D sharp, and. And then take that, and that's the major. If you wanted to do the minor version of that, you go back three half steps and you get to the E flat. That's for the minor version. Same notes, but starting from down there. I screwed myself up again. One thing that's helpful, doing it as chords, like starting out with, like I was doing 2-5-1 progressions, starting with no sharps. So going from like in the key of C, a 2-5-1 progression would be like D minor, and then G major, and then C. So. And you can hear how that kind of resolves the 2-5-1, because it's a D minor, G, and then C. Now if we go to the next chord over, we go to 1 sharp, and we play the same thing, but we do it in the key of G, where G is the 1. But now it's going to be A minor, and then D major. Or A minor, yeah. And then G.
D major to that? That G to A?
We started with A minor, was the first one. And actually then we're going to the D major is going to be the 5 of the G. Because we're basically doing the 2 of the G, which is the A minor, then the 5 of the G, which is the D major, and then the 1. And it gets that same resolving sound.
So A,
A minor,
minor, D major, G. Yeah.
And then we would go to the next one, which would be the D major as the 1. So the 2 would be the E minor. Then, where are we? D? A major. And the D. So, A minor, D. Basically, we're trying to go from a 1 to, or go from a
2.
We're considering, right, we're starting with the minor 2, right? So we're considering it from the D as the 1, and that's where we get the E minor, and then the 5. So anyway, going around all the way, like looking at each of the chords, and as you're adding sharps going around one direction, and then I would start back at the C and add flats and go back around the other way. So like starting from that same progression with the C where we did the D minor, G, and C. And then you go to the one more flat, so now you'd be going to the key of F, where F would be the 1, and it would be, so 2 would be the G minor.
What are you going 2 3 1 or are you going 2 5 1?
2 5 1. 2 5 1.
That's
Every time
why.
it's 2 5 1. Yeah. So like in the key of F, you'd be going from the minor, the G minor to the C to the F. It's that last 2 chords from the 5 to the 1. It'll always sound like the G to the C, where it sounds like it wants to go home. Same thing for any other chord that you go into. Like if you go from the 5 to the 1 on any major chord, it'll sound like it wants to resolve there. And that's why 2-5-1 is one of the most famous things you'll see, like in lots of jazz progressions, and you'll see it other places as well. But anytime you get that feeling and into your ears and under your fingers, it's good.
Trying to incorporate that 2 in there.
Yeah, I like it. Now, one thing that you'll see a lot of times is the 1, the 5, the 2, and the 6 all being involved. So like the 1 and the 5, you'd both use major, and the 2 and the 6, you would both do minor. So if we looked at it from the standpoint of like in a C major key, with a C being the 1, for example, then you're looking at the C, the G, the D minor, and the A minor, but not always in that order. Like I would probably do 2, 6, 1, 5. So I'd probably start at the D minor to A minor, and then the C and the G.
That's a 2 6 1.
2, 6, 1, 5, yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that song. What song is that?
Could be a lot of songs. And that's another good exercise, is to take something like that progression right there that we just did in C, and now if we translated it to G.
Don't blow my mind up. I just got it in C.
All right, yeah, you got it. We'll work on that for next time.
The moment I start going into other scales, I got to recalibrate my brain for the differences in the sharps.
Well, right. That's actually why, like, to me, having started with keyboard when I was younger, I always translate everything back to C major, A minor in my brain when I'm trying to think about, how to work with chords, or if I'm shifting something from, or transposing to something else, I'm always trying to think back to the keyboard. And okay, is it how many, half steps up or whatever? Once I can picture what's happening on the keyboard, then I can kind of translate in my head. Just like you were saying, like all the chords that are in the C major scale, you got your C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then we can get away with the B minor half, or the B half diminished.
Well, and anytime I'm trying to get comfortable with a different progression, like a 1-4-5 or anything like that, C is the place where I get familiar with the progression, and then it gets easier when you jump to another key because you already know what it's supposed to sound like.
It also makes it a lot easier from the fact that the 1, the 4, and the 5, it's all white notes, and it's all right there, the same claw. So you can just take that same claw and, move it through, and you don't have to worry about, oh, is the pinky up here or down there or all of that, because it's just the same claw in each place.
One, 4, 5, 1.
Yep.
Although I invert the second one.
Yep, exactly. And that's what makes it sound like it's a different chord. And that makes it sound fancy.
It sounds like it's going up.
Exactly.
Now, if I was to go backwards.
I like that too.
Now we'll go back and forth. What you just played there again. I know this song.
Very nice.
That could be a couple of different songs.
Another one that's good is cadences because that's what we're talking about here is cadences, like different progressions and things like that. Taking a cadence that goes rising, like you were saying, like let's take the root, like take the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. And just put that around a few times. Either way, up or down. Or both.
Could be a lounge pianist.
Yeah, see, there you go. Getting into that feel. How about in G?
Okay, I'm okay with G. Okay, what's the sharp in G?
Yep, that's the one. F sharp.
F sharp, okay.
There you go. next one would be D.
Okay, D is 2 sharps.
Yep. Starts getting tricky. And that's why I would do exercises like that with any kind of thing I'm messing around with. I would try it in all kinds of different spots, and try all the different keys, see what feels different.
Yeah, actually doing that 1, 2, 3, 4 progression does help to get comfortable with it.
And that's also getting you through 2 majors and 2 minors, because you're doing major, minor, minor, major on each one of them. So,
and it does make me like recognize the sharps. So it's a good way to actually like calibrate to the scale.
yeah, and you can be able to hear the difference between, when you do hit one, like you heard, like, you hit one, it's like, oh, nope, that's got to be sharp.
And this is actually the Angified scale.
Nice.
What the hell do I go to when you forget your own song?
To the G. Another one with the 1s, the 4s, and the 5s.
There's so many ways I can play that too, because I have done like 3 different songs with that same progression.
Exactly.
That's actually a really old one from like 2001 called AM1, which is the exact same progression. And then I'm hitting C instead of D. How about that? Hey, at least it's you fucking up, not me.
So I got to call myself out when I do it. Good stuff, though. And again, doing the translations like that is important, and it's good exercises. It's not all about doing scales. Like, scales are important, too. Like I would go through when I was taking piano lessons, like my thing would be, okay, now I've got to do, the G flat major scale, and I would do 2 octaves up, both hands together, and then they would go out. So like one hand's going up, one hand's going down, note by note, 2 octaves out and back, and then the rest of the way up and back, and then out and back and down. So it'd be a whole bunch of up and down and back, and it just sounds like a whole bunch of repetitive scales, or a Tchaikovsky song if you're playing it and trying to play it for somebody. But when you're doing it for yourself, you're just trying to learn and feel and hear where the scales fit together.
Did you call Tchaikovsky repetitive?
Tchaikovsky. Well, I mean, it depends who's listening to it, and it depends on what their thoughts are about music. Because a lot of times it does sound like a finger exercise, where like it could be, just doing something like that. That's just 4 notes at a time, and it's no pinky right there. But that's just trying some things out, and just the more you do those kinds of things, the more you'll get comfortable with how to finger things for your hands. Because different people with different hand sizes will use different fingerings for different types of chords or different types of scales. Usually, I try to avoid doing the thumb on the black notes unless for certain chords you'll do it. Sometimes it's a big chord where I'll want to try to span across 2 black notes with the thumb, and we can do that. But I usually try to avoid that reach, though. So I'll use the index finger for the black notes that would normally be under the thumb.
Yeah, trying to figure out what to do with my thumb has always been a challenge.
Yep, and that's where those different scale exercises are helpful, because when you're doing the both hands together, coming up from the low end, like your left hand is going, finger wise, you're going 5 4 3 2 1 3 2 1, right, to go an octave. Where with the right hand, you're going 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3. So it's like you're having to switch from the thumb in different points, and you get used to what that feels like as you're going up and down, so you can do it faster, and more smoothly without having to, think about it too much. But also, you're not going to be playing scale runs with both hands at the same time all that much, So it's good to get your mind around it.
I rarely do.
Yeah, most people don't. But it's good to understand how it works and have that feeling under your hands, so that your hands are more independent, because, when your thumb is coming under on this hand, it's not on the other hand, and you got to get used to doing that. So something to think about. But when you start going out, then you're doing the scale forwards with one hand and backwards with the other, but the fingering is now going 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 with both hands. So it's, you're now messing with your mind, because one's got to figure out the scale going up while the other hand is figuring out the scale going down.
Yeah, I've really got to get both my hands on the same page. Been talking to Cole Seth a lot about getting there, because he manages to play both hands identically, and I'm hoping to eventually get that way.
Yeah, it does take time. It does take practice, but practicing the right things is important too. And that's where, again, trying to do some of these things, trying to push yourself out of your comfort zone, doing scales you're not as comfortable with, or chords you're not as comfortable with, different inversions, getting used to all that kind of stuff. But the progressions is very useful for the songwriting stuff, because that's where, once you recognize that, that 2-5-1 thing, once you recognize that and you hear that in a song, you'll be like, oh, I know right away that's a 2-5-1, and you can immediately jump to, once you can find that one, you know exactly what they were doing for the rest of it, because the 2 and the 5 are right there.
And the inversions are what I think I'm the most comfortable with. As I'm trying out the different progressions, finding the inversion that's going to work the best to go through the progression, that's what I've spent the most time on.
Yeah. And even with that 2-5-1, if we look at it from using the 2 and the 1 in the same place, because those are right next to each other, and use the inversion of the 5. There's 2 different inversions of the 5 that are right in that neighborhood. So when you do that 2-5-1, you could use, normally if you just do the whole jump, you're going from the 2 all the way up to the 5 and then all the way back down to the 1. It sounds like that. But if you go from the 2 to an inverted 5 to the 1, it could be... So it's much closer. Or sorry, the 2 is, So it's still the same kind of a sound, but it, is different because it's not as jumpy. Depends what you're going for. But some are easier to find than others.
Now that I've got this all set back up, I'm going to practice.
Nice.
I'm going to take my own advice.
Good plan. We'll do more songwriting again next time.
Yeah. I'd like to get some more of these songwriting sessions in. With the WAG coming, I think for the next month or two, this is what we're going to kind of focus on. Little songwriting, the genres, writing a song in a specific genre, all of that.
Starting to maybe look at doing layers, or for collaboration, where like somebody puts down something and then somebody else adds something else, and kind of build in that way as well.
Yeah. I'd really like to look at the different ways you can write a song, whether you are starting with like a guitar lick or some words, and try each technique.
Yeah, definitely, because you get different results from each one, and different people have different ways that they prefer to start that process. Some people have a very set way, and it's always going to be this way, and other people, it's, something hits them and it's just a phrase or a musical nugget, and they kind of build that out. And then other times it's like a whole thing comes to them all at once.
That's why I'd like to go through those, because depending on who you collab with, you're going to get, different collaborators out there who some can't work other ways.
Sure. They got
But
their process.
I'd like to be flexible.
Be flexible is good.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody for joining us. Talking.
Yeah. A
IT.
great jam, and we'll be back tomorrow with some open minds, open mic. Big Chaos Magic. They've got another episode with John Michaels. He's taken over the show, and we'll be taking a look at that.
Very good.
We'll see you then.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear, and 82. How to arrange, compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac and even with a mobile device. We'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and sets that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talking IT. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much rap. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. We're talking